Ever been so scared that you feel stuck in one place, unable to move forward? Fear, that sneaky, pervasive emotion, has the power to freeze us in our tracks, rendering us immobile. It's a universal experience, shared by all of us, regardless of our backgrounds or circumstances. Fear can act like an invisible chain, shackling us to our comfort zones, preventing us from reaching our full potential. It's a formidable roadblock on the path to personal growth and development. But remember, it's perfectly normal to feel fear. It's an inherent part of being human. However, the crucial point is not to let fear control your life. Don't let it hold the reins, dictating your decisions and actions. It's okay to feel the fear and acknowledge it, but it's not okay to let it become your master. So, it's time to stop being a victim of your fears and start taking control. It's time to break those invisible chains and set your spirit free. To conquer fear, you first need to understand it. Fear is not your enemy. It is an ancient survival mechanism hardwired into our biology. Thousands of years ago, when our ancestors lived in the wild, fear was a crucial tool for survival. It alerted them to potential dangers, like a prowling predator or a poisonous plant. Fear was, quite literally, a lifesaver. However, in our modern world, many of the fears we experience are not related to immediate physical danger. We fear public speaking, rejection, failure, or even the unknown. These fears might not threaten our survival, but they can still paralyze us, preventing us from reaching our full potential. So why do we fear things that are not immediately life-threatening? Well, our brains have not quite caught up with the speed of our societal progress. They still operate on the same principles they did thousands of years ago. When we are faced with a stressful situation, our brains react as if we were in physical danger. They send out a rush of adrenaline, increasing our heart rate and sharpening our senses. This is known as the fight or flight response. But what happens when the danger we're facing isn't a hungry lion, but a big presentation at work? Our brains still send out that adrenaline rush, but without a physical threat to confront or flee from, we're left feeling anxious and afraid. This is how fear can become irrational or overblown. However, it's important to remember that fear is not a flaw. It's a part of being human. It's a warning system that sometimes gets it wrong. Understanding this is key to managing your fear. When you feel that rush of adrenaline, remember that it's just your body trying to protect you. It doesn't mean that you're weak or that the fear you're feeling is insurmountable. Understanding your fear is the first step to overcoming it. The next time you feel afraid, don't run from it. Instead, take a moment to understand where it's coming from. Remember, fear is not your enemy. It's just a tool. And like any tool, it's all about how you use it. Now that you understand fear, let's identify your personal fears. Identifying fears is the first step towards conquering them. It's a process that requires self-reflection and honesty. It's not about pointing fingers or blaming others, but about acknowledging what's holding you back. It's about looking inward and being honest about what scares you. Imagine you're an archaeologist, excavating your inner landscape. You're looking for those hidden fears that have been buried under the sands of time, denial, and avoidance. This isn't about judgment, but discovery. You're on a quest to unearth your fears, not to shame or embarrass yourself, but to understand and overcome them. Now, how to pinpoint these fears? A great way to start is by writing them down. There's something powerful about taking an intangible fear and giving it a tangible form. When you write your fears down, you strip them of their power to hide in the shadows of your subconscious. They become real, tangible, and most importantly, manageable. Grab a piece of paper, a journal, or even open a new document on your computer. Write down everything that scares you, no matter how big or small. It could be a fear of failure, rejection, public speaking, or even spiders. Write them all down. Allow yourself to feel the fear, but remember, you're in a safe space. This is your personal fear inventory. As you write, you might feel a bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. This process isn't meant to be easy. It's meant to be transformative. It's about confronting your fears, not running away from them. So be brave, be honest, be open. This is not a time for judgment or self-criticism. It's a time for understanding. Remember, everyone has fears, and it's perfectly okay to be scared. What matters is not letting these fears dictate your life. Continue this exercise until you've listed all your fears. Then take a moment to look at them. Really look at them. These are your fears and they're real, but they're not bigger than you. They're not stronger than you, and they certainly don't define you. Remember, admitting your fears doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave. Now comes the challenging part, facing your fears. Imagine confronting the very thing that scares you the most. It's not easy, is it? The very thought might even make your heart race. But here's the thing, it's possible. And there are proven ways to help you do it. One method is exposure therapy. It's a technique where you gradually expose yourself to the object or situation that frightens you. Imagine being afraid of spiders. Instead of thrusting a tarantula in your hands, you'd start by looking at a picture of a spider. Then, perhaps, watch a video of one. Gradually, you might move to being in the same room with a spider. Each step is a victory, and each victory lessens the fear. Another strategy is cognitive behavioral techniques. This method focuses on changing patterns of thinking or behavior that are behind your fears. Let's say you're afraid of flying. You might have thoughts like, what if the plane crashes? Cognitive behavioral therapy would help you challenge these thoughts, replacing them with more realistic ones like, flying is one of the safest forms of travel. But remember, facing your fears isn't about diving in head first. It's about taking small, manageable steps. If you're afraid of public speaking, you don't have to deliver a TED Talk on your first try. Start by speaking in front of a mirror, then move to a small group, then to a larger one. Each step forward, no matter how small it seems, is a step away from fear and a step towards courage. And here's the most important part. Celebrate your progress. Every time you face your fear, even if you don't conquer it completely, give yourself a pat on the back. You're braver than you were yesterday, and that's something to celebrate. Facing your fears is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate each step you take. Because each step, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. It's a step towards a life where fear doesn't hold you back, but propels you forward. It's a step towards the person you're meant to be. You don't have to face your fears alone. There's an old adage that says, shared pain is lessened, shared joy is increased. This sentiment holds true when it comes to facing our fears. We all need a helping hand at times, a shoulder to lean on, a listening ear. Friends, family, or professionals can provide invaluable support as we navigate the often daunting journey of confronting our fears. It's important to remember that asking for help isn't an admission of failure or a sign of weakness. Quite the contrary, it's a testament to your courage and determination. It shows that you're committed enough to overcoming your fears that you're willing to reach out and enlist the aid of others. A strong support system can lighten the load, making the path less intimidating and the journey more manageable. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to lean on others. Remember, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Overcoming fear isn't just about eliminating fear, it's about embracing growth and change. These words ring true for anyone who's ever faced down a fear and come out the other side stronger and more resilient. When we confront our deepest fears, we're not just overcoming a hurdle, we're inviting transformation into our lives. Just imagine a seed. At first, it's small and unassuming, but with time and nurturing, it grows into a sturdy tree. This is a perfect metaphor for personal growth. You start small, perhaps overwhelmed by fears and uncertainties, but as you face these fears, you begin to grow. You sprout roots in courage and resilience, and your confidence shoots up, reaching for the sky. Think of each fear as an opportunity for growth. When we face our fears, we're challenging our preconceived notions and pushing our boundaries. Every fear conquered is a step towards becoming a better, stronger version of ourselves. It's a chance to redefine who we are and what we're capable of. Embracing change is equally important. Change is inevitable, but it's our response to change that truly matters. We can shirk away, let fear dictate our actions, or we can embrace it, use it as a catalyst for personal growth. When we accept change as a part of life, we are better equipped to navigate the unpredictable currents of life. But remember, growth and change aren't always linear. You may stumble, you may falter, but that doesn't mean you're failing. Each stumble is a lesson learned, each falter, a testament to your courage. So don't be disheartened if the road to overcoming your fears is bumpy. It's all part of the journey to personal growth and development. In conclusion, facing fears isn't just about the absence of fear. It's about growing, changing, becoming a better version of ourselves. So, the next time you're faced with fear, don't just see it as an obstacle. See it as an opportunity to grow, to change, to transform. Remember, every time you face a fear, you're becoming a stronger, more resilient version of yourself.